Howdy, and welcome to That's Futtuplet, where we take a quick look at a quintuplet figure and figure out how to play it on electric guitar in about 5 minutes. But in today's episode, we're going to talk about the burning question, what the fuck is a futtuplet? There's a simple answer. A futtuplet is a glorious quintuplet. Of course, we need to know what a quintuplet is. A quintuplet, when you hear the suffix uplet, that means in music, that means it's a group of notes together. So when we have a triplet, that's a group of 3. We don't really say the word quadruplet, but that would be a group of 4. And then a quintuplet is a group of 5. Sextuplet, group of 6. Sometimes as musicians, we talk about the individual notes of a grouping rather than the group itself. So that's when you start hearing fractions, things like 8th notes and 16th notes. And so quintuplets, in those terms, futtuplet is a 20th note, in that there would be time for 20 of these notes in a 4-bar measure, right? So in each bar, we've got a subdivision of 5 notes. So we know what a quintuplet is. A quintuplet is a group of 5, but it's not yet a futtuplet. A futtuplet also has to have a little bit of panache, a little bit of style. And so what makes it glorious? The glorious part of a futtuplet is that A, it has to be musical, and B, it has to be practical. On the musical side, it needs to be made up of notes from a scale or a chord. It can't just be some random collection of sounds generated by our artificial intelligence overlords, and it can't be just some academic series of notes that kind of seems like a good idea on paper, but it's not really musical. It needs to be music. It needs to sound nice. It can't just sound like you're solving a crossword puzzle, 5 down, 5 across, 5 up. So in addition to being musical, it also has to be practical. And in our terms, that means we need to be able to play it on the electric guitar. To borrow a phrase from one of my favorite jazz players and jazz mentors, he says, it has to lay under the fingers well. It doesn't help anybody if a futtuplet is impossible to play and takes 11 fingers to play it. For every futtuplet that I share with you guys, I've probably found 5 or 7 or 8 or 10 that weren't playable, that were just impracticable. They didn't feel right, they had an awkward string transition, or they started or ended in ways that meant that they just kind of died. They just played to an end point that wasn't really useful musically. So those get set aside to the trash bin of history, and I keep looking for ones that are glorious, ones where I got a 5-note pattern that sounds musical, that is practical, it lays under my fingers, and I'm sure that everybody else in the world, once they get that pattern down, they'll be able to play it as well. And I'm sure that you guys will find many great futtuplets. So once you get comfortable with these patterns and these approaches, there are many, many futtuplets out there to find and master and share and put into our repertory bags and to pull out when it's time to really impress the masses. So all the futtuplets that I get to share with you guys, they've all been road tested and tested on the guitar. They all make sense, so they're always practical, and it's always going to be musical. And, it's not just a drum machine kind of, I can count to 5 kind of thing. Instead, it's going to be something that makes sense to us in terms of our chords and scales and that kind of stuff. So I've tested all the futtuplets here, and they're guaranteed to blow your hair back or blow your girlfriend's back hair. However that works, the next time you play something fantastic like this, and all the guitarists who know all of the cliches, they know all the pentatonic riffs, they know how everything works, and they look across at you and they say, "What's that?" You can smile and say, "That's futtuplet." Until next time.